Yeah, Tracy, go ahead.
Hey, Stephan. Coming off last season, how do you think the safeties did as a group during that shortened year?
Morning. But as a safety group, I feel like we did pretty well. Leading and tackling, and then majority of the turnovers too. I had two. One of the safeties we had leave had two. Q-Lake had one. So I want to say as a safety group, more progress from previous seasons.
What did you think you needed to do personally coming off of last season during this offseason to get ready for next season in spring practice?
Finishing games, better at my man reps, and then just helping out the guys around the team just where we could be more connected to one another while we're out there.
You look a little bigger physically. Did you do some work off-season wise that way?
Yeah. Off-season, I trained in San Dimas at this place called TNT. So they've been getting me right during the off-season.
With the extra year of, the NCAA granted everyone an extra year of eligibility because of the pandemic, do you consider yourself a senior going into next year or like a junior? What do you consider yourself?
Still a senior just because the years I've been up here and then like just my playing time. But with the year back, I still take that in knowing I could come back and still be known as a senior, or even this year going to it as a junior. But I look at it as a senior.
So like a senior with an asterisk kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Tony, go ahead.
Hey, Stephan. Hey, earlier today, Chip said that with the team being so veteran, he expects things to get picked up a little quicker in camp. Do you have that sense out there that maybe a little bit more can get done by the end of camp because you guys are quick, you guys are picking it up faster?
Good morning, but yes, it's a lot of older guys out here. A lot of dudes that's been in the program for 2 years plus, and even a year plus coming with the guys we had transfers last year. So yeah, quick pace with things, and then just all on the same page.
Now it looked like the defense was having its way with the offense a little bit in the 7-on-7s today. The defensive backs were sticking with the receivers well. There were a couple of batted down passes at the defensive line. How do you think the defense looks right now?
I feel like we're looking pretty good. Numbers still well. We all healthy, looking fresh. So yeah, I feel like the defense is looking good, confident, and just growing every day.
Great, thank you.
All right, we're joined by Quentin Lake now. Once again, if you have any questions, just hit the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. Yep, Tracy, go ahead.
Hey, Quentin, how you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. So tell us a little bit about the whole process of sitting out last season, coming back for a very limited time. And then what you've done in the off season. You look noticeably bigger, like lower body. So there looks like there was something done there. Talk a little bit about how this haul has been for the last several months.
Yeah. So the situation I was in last year, obviously it was contact tracing. So I missed the Arizona game and the Oregon game. Unfortunately, came back, did pretty well, had the game saving play against ASU. And then, the other two games, Stanford and USC were, pretty good. But I mean, it was an unfortunate situation. Can't complain, did the best I could to just stay in shape and all that. But coming into this season and in the off season, I think the most important part was, getting my lower body right, which obviously you guys have seen, whether that's squats, lunges, all the stuff, shout out to, the weight room staff and, helping me, get where I need to be, put on, a pretty good amount of weight, but it's good weight. It hasn't slowed me down at all. I feel like I'm, a lot more powerful. And I'm just ready to dominate, coming in this year, great opportunity. Obviously the NFL draft is a couple of days ago, and it kind of inspired me to see what my competition was and kind of put myself in kind of like an idealistic mindset of where I would be if I were to be drafted too. So, overall body's feeling good, mentally, good, physically good, family's good, everything's good. So, we're just, ready to play, ready to ball out.
So in the off season, there was a new strength and conditioning coach and staff. do you go to them and say, I need to work on the lower body, or did they recognize that about you?
I would say I kind of knew myself. It wasn't that I went to them. I just kind of knew, if I want to be more powerful and more dominant, lower body kind of, controls, a lot of football. You're usually a lower body, I would say the most. So me just knowing that, I just, wanted to focus more on, my legs, whether that's, hamstrings, quads. I got my legs in, the right position where I can be more dominant, be more powerful. So, I mean, yes, they did help me out. They kind of emphasized, you got to get your legs right because, that's where all your power come from. But in terms of me going to them, I didn't necessarily do that. I kind of knew that on my own.
The secondary at times looked a little vulnerable last year. What do you think as a unit it needs to do to really take it to another level for next season?
I would say the biggest thing for us is communication. Obviously, coming in, it was a new, we had new kind of scheme, I would say a little bit. Obviously, Coach Norwood did a good job of, getting us in good positions. But in terms of the, little faults you saw last year, it was more communication and just, technical stuff. A lot of that we're working on in spring ball. So those mistakes will be eliminated. I can guarantee that. But we're just trying to sharpen our tools so we don't have those mishaps like we did last year. I think this year in spring ball and in fall camp, you're going to see a big improvement. And I think we're going to be making a lot more plays on balls. We want to have multiple game interceptions, and we want to be the, kind of the backbone of the defense as a secondary. So moving forward, just being more technical and having better communication because, we're all experienced now, getting into the, later years of college and have experience on the football field. So the communication will be a big thing for us this year. And I think us being able to communicate will help us a lot and eliminate the mistakes that we had last year.
One last question. DJ Warnell has kind of moved over to safety from the last time we saw him. He looks like a big dude right now.
Yeah.
Have you kind of talk a little bit about what you see from him as a safety and if you've taken him under your wing at all?
DJ's a natural athlete. Obviously, big guy, loves the game of football, very hard worker. Now, did I necessarily take him under my wing? No, but, whenever he needed tips, he would come for me to ask. Obviously, my guy, the other safety, Blaylock, he's kind of helped him out too. But DJ has a natural knack for the game. Just loves to hit, loves to be out there, loves to have fun, very instinctual. So, I'm excited to see what he does in these next couple of years. Very excited.
Thanks, you appreciate it.
No problem.
Tony, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Quentin?
How you doing, Tony?
Good, man. Hey, sorry for the noise. It's like party time over here at the Luskin Hotel. It's crazy over here. Hey, earlier today, Chip said that he has expectations that because this is such a veteran team, things in camp are going to get picked up a lot quicker, a lot faster, and then maybe you guys can accomplish more by the end of camp because he'll be able to do that. Are you seeing that actually happen?
Yeah, I would say the offense is, they're rolling. Whether that's getting into more tempo situations or, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like they're at a level where, whatever Chips throws in them, they can pick it up real quick and implement that when we're going team 7-on-7, any situation. And especially with the defense, we're at a point where it's a little bit slower just because spring ball, they want to implement everything at a little slower tempo.
Sure.
But I mean, anything they throw at us at this point, since we are so experienced, we can pick it up like that. It's no problem. I think the later, a couple later practices, down the line, you'll start to see a lot more stuff that wasn't being seen before. But in terms of us being able to pick up stuff, we can do that. So we're excited for, anything that the coaches throw at us.
Now, you've got a veteran defensive backfield. Is there a leader of that defensive backfield? Is it you? Who is it?
I would say as a group, we're all everybody – everybody can look at another person and say, you're a leader, you're a leader. Now, not to be cocky or not to be overly confident, but I do think I am a leader. Me, Blay, Q-Knight, all the guys are leaders, but I feel like you can't really dedicate one person. I'm not going to say that. But in terms of how I hold myself to a high standard, so I would hope everybody else sees me as a leader. Now, am I a vocal guy? No, because that's not really how I lead, but I lead through my actions. And I feel like my time at UCLA, I've been able to lead through my actions. So yes, I would consider myself a leader. Am I the one sole leader of the defensive back group? No. Obviously, there's guys like Q Knight, there's guys like Blay that have had their time, have made plays. But I would say I am a focal figure on the defensive side, yes.
Now, the last question is: you've been facing off against the quarterbacks, for a few weeks now, all of them. What's your impression of what you're seeing from the quarterbacks, particularly Dorian and Chase?
Dorian has grown a lot. I was able to work with him in the offseason because we were good friends in the offseason. I would catch for him whenever he was doing his quarterback stuff. And I've seen the growth. He's been able to read defensive better, make better decisions, smarter decisions, throw the ball away when it needs to be. So in terms of his growth, it's been he's just on an upward trend, and I'm really excited to see what he's done. Now Chase, I was surprised what he was doing when he was starting last year. Had hell of a games against Oregon, Arizona, and even Stanford in the final quarters. And that just shows how much of a competitor Chase is. He's whenever you need him to be ready, he's going to be ready. In practice, he's making all the right decisions. So both their growth has been immaculate, and I'm happy to see that because even if pray to God whoever starts or whatever, but you can put them both in if you need to. There's no drop off if one person were to go down, and that's what I love. And they're only getting better by having this competition at the quarterback spot. So I'm happy for him, and it makes me better too as a defensive player, as a safety, because it's like I'm getting the work. They're showing different looks, making different signs, making different signals and audibles and all that stuff. So as a defender, you have to think and always be on your toes. So I'm glad they're growing. I'm glad I'm growing because it's making us better as a team. So I can't say nothing. Happy for them, happy for what they're doing. But yeah, the growth they've done is immaculate, and I'm very excited for what's to come this season.
Great. Thanks for your time, Quentin.
No problem. Appreciate you.
All right. Any final questions for Q? All right, great. Thanks for your time, Q.
Oh, thank you so much.